Hi there, Tim again. This is Advanced Voxelmancy 102, and it's a supplemental for Advanced Voxelmancy 101. So it assumes you've watched Advanced Voxelmancy 101, and if you haven't, I recommend you go do that now. Come back. This is actually just going to clear up a couple questions and a few discrepancies that have come up during the last patch and make things a little bit clearer. So the first one is that I work a lot in dirt when I'm doing my creation process because it's cheap. You can grab a lot of it and it's easy to work with. The second piece is that when I'm working in an area, it's generally a good idea to clean up that area and make sure that there's no air voxels that are weird shapes. Air voxels can be created in weird shapes by the areas around microvoxels get pulled in, the air gets pulled in around it as well, and those shapes can wind up sticking around in the air and you can't see them. So if I go ahead and select an area, draw a nice big box, and then I fill it using the add tool with dirt, and then I use the heal tool to heal that same area, and then I delete it. What I wind up with is air voxels that are prime size in that entire area. That'll keep me from getting weird results when I'm working with my shapes. The second piece of information that I wanted to give you is that the idea of pushing paint into my Putty Voxel healed earth cube doesn't work at this very moment in time because it got messed up during a patch, and that's causing some problems for some people. So I would like to say that if you take an area right here and draw out and heal it, you can create Putty Voxels in another way that also works. And that is if I go ahead and create a selection area like this, and I have a 1x1. Well, if I were to make my Putty Voxel on the edge right here, the inside piece inside of here would wind up being kind of good putty, and the one outside over here can become bad putty, as it were. In other words, it behaves like a normal voxel on this side, but a Putty Voxel on the inside. I've had results that happen both directions, but we're going to make some putty. We want it to work well all the time, and so the best way to get this done without being able to push paint in anymore is that we're going to take our selection area and we're going to push it in one click this way and in one click this way. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but how do we paint it? Well, if we take this and we just stretch it out a little bit like this, now we can actually paint that. I'm going to paint it with the white stucco there. And what we really did was create a paint area that's 2x2, or sorry, 1x1x2. And that's all fine and dandy, but what we really want to do is only template or use the bottom one of those two. The top one we can just ignore, and if we template or copy out that piece right there, it does in fact behave like a Putty Voxel like we want it to. And the nice thing about this method is that it's actually fairly simple to make some additional shapes. So if I have my healed earth section like this, and I want, let's say, a 3x3x1 Putty Voxel, I can go ahead and just draw out my 3x3x1 like this. I'm going to actually stretch it so that it touches a surface where I can see it, and I'm going to push it into my healed earth right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and paint it and switch back to the selection tool and shrink that down. Now I'm going to template that. I'm going to create a template. So I say, create new. I take a screenshot, which doesn't do much because the screenshot can't see it. But, and then I can call it, Putty 3x3x1. And this is, stuccoed wall. All right, so that would be I already have one of these, so I'm just going to close this, but I can create that template. This also behaves properly. If I take this and bring it over here and bring it down, you'll see that all of the bits and pieces behave like putty. Alright, so that is how we create both larger putty voxels, how we create putty voxels when we can't push paint, and how to clean up an area so that it works a little bit neater. And that concludes Voxelmancy 102. I am working on Voxelmancy 201. There have been some bugs that came up, and hopefully those bugs will get worked out really quickly, and I can move on and create the next major installment. Thank you very much.